friends. I was just hanging out with our dogs. We're doing a little bit of reading. One of my favorite things to do on a really hot day is stay inside and read. You know, I told you last week that I really don't like the hot outside. Probably should have said the heat, but really I just don't like to be hot. I don't like to be hot inside. I don't like to be hot outside. So I do spend a lot of time during the summer reading. Sometimes with my dogs. Porter loves to be read to because usually when you read, you snuggle up, and he loves to snuggle. Why don't you guys go hang out with Mr. Bruce while I get Porter to settle down?
Glorified in my life, Lord, be glorified today. In our song, Lord, be glorified, be glorified. In our song, Lord, be glorified today. In your church, Lord, be glorified, be glorified. In your church, Lord, be glorified today. In your world, Lord, be glorified, be glorified. In your world, Lord, be glorified today. Be glorified today.
Thanks, Mr. Bruce. Our special reader today is from Augsburg. They are a member of the youth group. They like to play video games, and they fence. If you don't know what fencing is when you practice using a sword, and you kind of have a battle. You don't get hurt though, you're covered and you can't hurt yourself. Our special reader for today is Miss Julia.
Hey everyone, my name is Julia, and for the next few minutes I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite books, Henry and the Buccaneer Bunnies by Carol Creamy. Okay, Henry and the Buccaneer Bunnies. Cruising the seven seas on a rickety old ship called the Salty Carrot sailed a wild, rowdy band of buccaneer bunnies. They were bad, bad bunnies, all right. When pirates on other ships saw their long floppy ears and their fluffy white tails, they shook with fear. The captain of the Salty Carrot was Barnacle Blackear, the baddest bunny brute of all time. Blackear was proud of his wooden paw, his golden earrings, and his mean reputation. What Blackear was not proud of was his son, Henry. Instead of performing his proper pirating duties, Henry was more interested in reading the books the buccaneers stole from other ships. "Shout, shiver me timbers," Blackear ordered. "I'd rather finish this chapter," said Henry. "Make this prisoner walk the plank." "Can't I just read about it?" asked Henry. "Find yourself a parrot for your shoulder." first I need to read up on parrot care, said Henry. Buccaneer bunnies don't need books, said Blackear. Toss 'em overboard, he yelled to the other bunnies. No, wait, cried Henry. Just let me finish 'em first. Avast, cried Blackear. Swab the deck until you've come to your senses. And so Henry swabbed the decks day after day while reading some of his favorite books, like Robinson Crusoe and 30 Days to Longer Ears. I bet you can't learn how to do this from a book, Jean Le Hare said while sharpening his hook. Henry sighed and turned the page. You'll never find booty like this in a book, Calico Jack Rabbit told him, holding up his stolen loot. Henry shrugged and turned the page. Can't do this with a book in your paw, Bartholomew Bunny said while standing his peg leg. Henry just turned another page. As much as he loved his books, Henry was a lonely Buccaneer bunny, if ever there was one. Then, one morning, he looked up at the red sky and wriggled his little pink nose. He heard the parrot squawk and saw the fish jumping out of the water. If my books on meteorology are correct, these signs mean a big storm is coming. Henry tried telling Jean Le Hare about the upcoming storm. Excuse me, but I believe a storm is coming, Henry said, but Jean was too busy polishing his pieces of 8. Go back to your books, Henry. He tried telling Calico Jack Rabbit. I'm pretty sure a storm is on its way, Henry said, but Calico was too busy admiring his tattoo of a cabbage. Don't bother me now, Henry. Finally, Henry cried, Batten down the hatches! A huge storm is coming! What do you know about storms? Blackear demanded. Get back to swabbing the deck before I make shark bait out of those books of yours. Henry did as he was told, but he kept his little pink eyes on the sky. When he saw the rats abandoning ship, he started packing up his books in the empty treasure chests. The storm started small. A few low grumbles, a spike of lightning. Then suddenly, crashing, bashing, thrashing wildcat of a hurricane broke loose. It shook the ship. Suffering sea dogs! It mangled the masts, great slimy bilges. It slashed the sails, damaged the deck, and ripped the rickety old salty carrot. All that was left floating on the choppy waters were a bunch of soggy bunnies and Henry's treasure chest filled with books. When the storm finally calmed down, Blackear, Henry, and the rest of the buccaneers paddled to the nearest island. We're ruined, wailed Blackear. No ship, no pieces of 8, no gems. He sat in the sand and blubbered like a lily-livered landlubber. But Henry got to work. The first thing he did was build a 2-story hut out of palm fronds and coconuts. Where'd you learn to do that? Asked Blackear. I read it in 101 Things to Do with Palm Fronds and Coconuts, replied Henry. Next he built a fire and cooked up a tasty seaweed stew. Blimey, said the hungry bunnies. Where'd you learn to do that? I found the recipe in Quick and Easy Meals for Marooned Pirates, said Henry. Then he made them all fetching garments with bits and pieces he'd salvaged from the wreck. We look like gentle bunnies, we do. What swank swashbucklers we are. Arr, and you learned all of this from them landlubbin' books, said Blackear, shaking his head. Henry taught Blackear and the Buccaneer bunnies all kinds of useful things, like how to plant carrots and make the best sandcastles, and build boats out of palm fronds. Soon they built a new ship, which they sailed to the library at the nearest Easter Islands every summer. Here the bunnies spent many happy hours slurping seaweed stews and reading books. Aye, Buccaneer bunnies will always need books, said Blackear. Henry just smiled and turned the page. The end. I hope you enjoyed listening to Henry and the Buccaneer Bunnies, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, friends.
Thanks so much, Miss Julia. I hope you guys have fun doing a lot of reading this summer. If it's a really hot day and you need to take a break from outside, come on inside and read. If you don't have access to a lot of books and you can't get to the library, then just reach out to me. I'll stop by your house and bring you some to read. I hope you have a great day. I love you. Don't forget to wash those hands. Bye, friends.